Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 63 of the Seezus Show. I'm back with the co-host. We out here. We getting it. It's NBA opening week. Like, what more can you really ask for? I literally have been, on my NFL stuff. Been playing Madden. Been doing fantasy football, whatnot. I literally took all of my NFL DNA in me and just like flushed it all out. NBA season's back. I'm so excited. Before we get into episode 63, I want to rehash you guys on episode 62. On episode 62, Trey returned, obviously, and we discussed the Lakers preseason debut, Anthony Davis. My fault. Anthony Davis preseason injury to his hand or whatnot. NBA in China. Trey elaborated on that. Great. Got some good feedback with that as well. Shout out to Trey. Katie's Hot 97 interview, Zion's preseason dominance, and much, much more. Now that it's opening week, we have a lot of content to deliver to you all. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for my co-host, my boy, Trey.
What's up, y'all? Hey, it's good to be back. Recording on this Sunday, man. It's a little bit rainy outside, but the sun always shines when it's basketball season somewhere. So good to be back. NBA season is back. The preseason felt really good, but these first few games of this season, I felt crazy.
OD.
The talking points, just the matchups, and we haven't even scratched the surface. It's the tip of the iceberg. So, hey, NBA is back. Basketball is back. College basketball is 2 weeks away. It's a good time. It's Christmas time for Hoopers. It's Christmas time.
What a time to be alive, right?
Hey, you already know.
All right. So before we even get into opening week, I didn't really get a chance to talk about this particular injury. I'm talking about Zion Williams. Me and Trey we had a whole 10, 15-minute rant on Zion. We didn't even know how to describe how excited this guy was doing. You know what I'm saying? So Zion, suffered a torn meniscus in his right knee and is set to miss 6 to 8 weeks after an arthroscopic surgery. So this was a guy who in preseason basically averaged 23 points and shot over 70% from the field. You literally could not stop him. Freight train, crazy.
Yeah.
So it's crazy because from just doing a little bit of research, I'm not an expert or anything, but with meniscus tears, there's two ways to go about taking care of that. One, you can get it shaved off a little bit. So if you get it shaved off a little bit, the recovery time is going to be faster. But the downside to that is long-term health-related injuries going forward with your knee. So think of D-Wade. D-Wade was one of the prime examples who had that arthroscopic surgery. And although he was able to come back, he always had knee-related injuries that always bothered him. So you can do that, or you can get it sewed. If you get it sewed, you're going to be out longer. So Zion, 4 to 8 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah.
This one would be 3 to 4 months. But if you get it fully sewn back, they say that long-term that would be better for you. So it kind of makes me think, since he's out for 6 to 8 weeks, I wonder if he snipped it off a little bit, or shaved it off rather. And that just has me thinking, is it politics in the sense that, all right, you're our number one pick. Is it on us to make sure you're fully healthy to play? Or is it on us, knowing that we're an organization, knowing that we invested a lot into the Pelicans this year, nationally televised and whatnot, is it on us to make our product, perform? What are your thoughts on his injury, and how do you think it affects him moving forward, the team moving forward, your expectations for the Pelicans? Just tell me your spill on everything.
That's interesting that you say that, kind of going between do I have to produce with my product right off the back, or am I gonna take it slow with this guy? And for me, being the organizational person that I am, and being the person that would always implore longevity from an organizational standpoint and from a player standpoint, I would dial it back. And if we had to take the few months, I had to say, all right, you're not gonna play this year, cool, whatever. We've seen it in players I haven't done any research on Michael Porter.
Yeah.
But, he had a back injury. They weren't in a rush. Granted, it's of two different natures. You can't really play if your back's giving you problems. But it's of two different natures. They sat him out the whole year. The whole year. Zion Williamson, who seems to be more of a once in a generational player than Michael Porter Williams will will ever be, or that we really think. We thought he was kind of the second coming of KD, but at the same time, it was like, all right, there was a lot of wow factor from his scoring ability and his scoring potential, but it wasn't like Zion Williamson, where it's like, how are we gonna stop this guy? So if I have a player like that, I'm putting him on ice. If I have to put him on ice, I have a good coach. We have a good young team. Granted, we don't want to struggle again. I mean, we see like on the other side of the ball, the Saints aren't doing terrible. The Saints are a staple of that city. We got the Pelicans that are ready to take the next step, but at the same time, you're taking 2 steps backwards to take 1 step forward if you let Zion really, really get hurt. Or, hand to God, fingers crossed, hopefully it doesn't happen, but it's on you if something really drastic happens to him. And it's like, damn, he's out for a year. Then it only prolongs stuff. So for me, from an organizational standpoint, I would dial it back. For them, and maybe because Zion knows his body a little bit better than we know it. I mean, of course he does.
I feel like he don't even know his body. What his body's capable of.
Yeah. Like, if he decided to jump into another city, but like he might be able to do it. Like he's a Super Saiyan. Like dude's crazy. On this episode of Dragon Ball Z. Shout out DJ Meech. But we get a kick out of that, man. But it's like a secret weapon. Like it's a weapon of real like mass destruction, and like you're not gonna sit there and be like, all right, it's not before it's like really ready, before it's really been tested. Just go ahead and just go out there and use it. It's like, all right, let's fine tune this thing, style it back, let's make sure our calculations are right. Mm-hmm. You have to do that with your star player or your number top draft pick. That's literally once in a lifetime. Mm-hmm. It's like if Derrick Rose, when he was coming into the league, if they knew how to prevent those kind of injuries, knowing like if you could choose not to be ignorant to those injuries, like, all right, well, Derrick, we're gonna do this, we're gonna teach you how to do this, or any type of plan or implementation to not get him hurt, you would. But I feel like we're like 5 years past that, almost a decade past that, to keep it a stack, and there's precautions that can be taken. Why would you risk that with Zion Williamson? I don't have the words for it. You know what I'm saying? I can't give you a real good explanation to why you would put him out on the floor super, super fast. Now, if this is protocol, if this is what happens, this is what you do, you're confident in it, cool, go for it. But if you're risking your franchise, because Zion Williamson is your franchise.
That's everything. That's long term. So you got to think ahead. I'm not living in – I mean, obviously you only live in the moment, but I'm thinking for the franchise's point of view, I want at least 10 to 15 years out of this man if he happens to want to stay.
Yeah.
Nowadays people be moving and stuff like that. But, yeah, I definitely have to agree with you. So do you think this injury will keep him from becoming a superstar?
I don't think this injury would keep him from becoming a superstar. It might hurt him as far as like rookie of the year and stuff like that because he's not going to play a full term. But superstar status or all-star status is going to depend on his overall health, and in order for him to be healthy, his knees have to be healthy. And y'all gotta get that right.
Do you think because it's weird. Even David Griffin came out with it. He's saying like, he's been taking care of his body. He's been working out. He works as hard as anybody I've seen since I've been a part of this organization with the Pelicans. Yeah. This is just a different type of dude, and we don't really know how to handle his body yet, like you said earlier. So do you think he needs to take off a little bit of weight because that adds overall more pressure like to his knees?
And I've heard, and even people that I've been around, like older people, I work with a guy, he's a little bit older, and he was like, he's on a diet simply to get weight down because I think some ratio for every pound that you have, it's so many pounds of how it feels on your knees.
Especially
like
when you're dunking and jumping like that all the time.
Dunking and jumping. And then this guy's just walking around. So he was on a diet because of that. But we're talking about a world-class athlete. Athletes put on pounds so they can create force and momentum and stuff like that. So now we're saying like, hey, dial it back. Who's to say? I'm not going to come on and be like, Zion needs to lose weight. And, Zion's been playing like this for damn near 3-4 years since he's had, probably this development, since we've seen him killing it in high school, killing it at Duke, and now we're here. He hasn't had these type of problems. I mean, he had the what happened last year, and that was the shoe blew out, and then he might have had a little bit of a knee injury last year. I can't think. But
Yeah, I think he sprained his knee.
he sprained his knee. But overall, he's been fine with this, you know. So I think we're really rushing to put him in the same category as this is going to be a continuing kind of situation. But who's to say? You know, I'm not going to tell him how to take care of his body. We haven't seen anything like this.
Yeah.
I'm not built like Zion. You're not built like Zion. So in a way, it's up to him. But two, you have to just really look at it from a longevity standpoint if you're him and then if you're the people around him. So
For sure. Gotta agree with that. Moving on to that. Opening night was amazing, man. Started off Tuesday, started off right. Made sure I got to work early just so I can leave early. Went to the gym. Like, I did everything I had to do just for opening night. Still got to get my TV mounted, but it's all good. Opening night was great, man. First game was Pelican versus Raptors. Raptors got their rings. They were feeling themselves a little bit. Ended up being a great game, you know what I'm saying? Just a week ago, Pascal Siakam got that max deal, which he more than likely, he deserved that. He
Very much
deserved that
deserved it.
100%, and he's been playing up to it the whole time. So Raptors played the Pelicans. They ended up going to overtime, winning 132 to 122. Pascal Siakam had 34 points, 18 rebounds, 5 assists. Kyle Lowry added on with 22, 6 assists, 5 rebounds. And then out of nowhere, Fred VanVleet was looking like Steph Curry out there and had 34.7 assists, 5 rebounds. Overall, pretty solid game. Like I said, we got to see the Pelicans play without Zion. So I think they kind of went really small. I think they started Lonzo and Drew Holiday in the backcourt. And then did they start J.J. Redick too?
I believe they started JJ.
They started J.J. Redick. And then, J.J. Redick. And then they also started
Brandon Ingram
and then what's the center's name?
and Jaleel Okafor. No,
Not Jaleel Okafor.
not Jaleel Okafor. 22.
Number 22. Can't think of his name right now. But yeah, start all of them. They looked pretty good from a wing standpoint, defending wise. They did overall pretty solid. Who I was impressed by the most is probably Brandon Ingram, considering the fact that he came off that blood clot injury. He's been putting in a lot of work. I think he's been averaging almost 27, 4 and 5, which has been phenomenal. It seems like Drew Holiday is really having that impact on this young team. And the fact that a few of them came from the Lakers over to the Pelicans, they already have that chemistry in attack now. They're 0-2 right now.
Yes.
0-2 right now. But every game's been competitive. Like I said, they went to overtime against the defending champions, and they played the Rockets last night. And, they only lost by 3 points, Josh. I could have tied the game to send them to overtime. But what were your thoughts on that game? And I know you have something to say about Norman Powell.
Oh, all right. I think it was a good first showing. Again, I'm really high on this Pelicans team. I'm really in love with the potential that they really have. I love Coach Gentry. Brandon Ingram looks damn good. I think he has to figure out how to take it to that next superstar level from I won't say from an organizational standpoint, but just from a approach standpoint. Because, you can put a whole lot of points up. At the same time, superstars are going to be on the court. They're going to make their teammates better, and they're going to put up their numbers too. I'm not saying that Brandon Ingram isn't on his way to doing that, but there is that kind of switch you kind of see in players. When Kobe went from kind of that 8 to Black Mamba mentality, when LeBron was first putting up raw points and raw numbers, to when he was like, all right, I'm getting my teammates involved, and I know I can close this game out, and I'm putting up my points consistently too. Kind of that space where we really just take the superstar for granted in a way. Yeah. It's like, damn, they do it all the time. But at the same time, that's the space that you kind of have to get in. That's the consistent superstar. I've got my teammates involved. You was like, every day is like, oh, LeBron went 18 and 10 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh, we get used to it. But at the same time, that's what I want to see kind of out of Brandon Ingram. And from a scoring standpoint, he can do it. And he was distributing the ball. Him and Josh Hart, who I'm really high on too. Again, the whole team really, I'm excited for them. It might not be a great year for them. And considering Zion's out too, like we just talked about. But this is the basketball team we want to see. This is the fun running gun style, long athletic players with people that can shoot, great point guard, great vision. It's who I want to see. On the opposite side of the ball, Raptors looked very good. Pascal Siakam, again, is who we thought he was. Is who you thought he was. The game went very well. I didn't think they were going to go into overtime. I figured that, Toronto would get them out the way. But for some odd reason, there was a timeout called right before the end of regulation. There's like about 5 seconds left or so. And Raptors coach calls a timeout. Cool. We're going to get a play. We're going to get a play for Kyle Lowry. We might get something going to Marc Gasol. Pascal Siakam's fouled out at this point, I believe. Fred VanVleet is playing like a fucking maniac, right? So let's get the ball, right? Timeout, guys. Let's get the ball into the hands of Norman Powell. All right. All right, so we're going to run for VanVleet off 3-point line. Maybe we missed him. Thing is, I thought he was wide open, but I think dude kind of faked at it, so he decided not to give the ball to him because Kyle Lowry inbounded the ball. And in comes Norman Powell. Now, when Norman gets the ball, there's about 8 seconds left on the clock. And for some reason, Norman Powell holds the ball. He's at half court. Guarded by, is this Jackson?
I don't even know who that is.
I think that's the rookie kid from Duke. But Norman Powell decides that he's going to be Damian Lillard because he's probably watched the highlight of him waving bye-bye to OKC 20 times over the offseason. And he starts at like 3 seconds from half court. Rocks. And he launches it from the fucking logo. I don't even want to cuss right now. It's not worth me cussing. But like he launches it from the logo. And I'm texting Siwa. I was like, Norman freaking Powell is the best shot we could have gotten. Like, thank God they won that game because sheesh. But
what was he thinking?
What do you think? Like, there's a freeze frame of this, and he literally launched it from the logo.
He almost went in high key.
It hit the back of the rim. Kyle Lowry has his hands on his head like.
Look at Marc Gasol's violence. Like, idiot. He probably cursing him out in Spanish right now. Hey, what are you doing, bro?
But Lord help Norman Powell, they would have lost that game. Yeah. But it was a damn good game. Good opening night. Fun to have basketball back. Some takeaways from that. Lonzo looks very fluid. Again, Pascal Siakam is playing very well. Kyle Lowry is the leader that he was. Josh Hart's getting a lot of minutes for the Pels and playing very well too. And Jahlil Okafor is out there getting it in. So, two teams that on the lookout for. I mean, of course, Toronto. Where do you see Toronto finishing this year in the East?
I've been saying this from the jump. They should be a top 6 team, honestly. Like, aside from the Bucks and aside from the Philadelphia 76ers, I think 3 through 6 is kind of up for grabs. We don't know what Brooklyn's going to be yet. Celtics seem like they're going to have an up and down season. Okay. And, they have the most chemistry together. Reigning champions. They got their system intact. I love their coach. Pascal's emerging. Kyle Lowry, like you said, still there. Fred VanVleet's looking good. OG's about to step up. You still got the Towers and Marc Gasol and Serge. So I expect them to be 4 through 6 seed. Could be possibly 3, but 4 through 6 seems more ideal.
Say less.
In the next game, I was excited about Lakers Clippers, man. We've been talking about the battle of LA the whole time. I remember I was at work. And one of my boys knows I'm a huge Kawhi fan. I think everyone kind of knows that by now. And he was like, yo, you trying to bet 10 on the game? 10 is nothing. But, I was like, oh, PG not there yet. And just looking at this preseason matchup that the Lakers had with the Warriors, I'm not going to bet today. Once PG gets back, let's bet. But, boy, was I wrong. The Lakers got mollywopped by the Clippers. The final score ended up being 112-102. I think they were up as much as 20 points. But it was just crazy because Kawhi did what he did. Started off a little slow, and then out of nowhere, I think he had a stretch where he scored 10-plus points. Ended up with 30 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. LeBron and AD kind of struggled. I don't know if it was because obviously they played preseason games together, but they played the Nets twice, and I think they played the Warriors 3 or 4 times. That's kind of a small sample size if you're playing the same team over and over again. Obviously, this year with Golden State, they're lacking in a lot of different areas that we're going to talk about a little bit later. Yeah. But once they actually went up against, and I told this to who I told this to Manny. I don't like to really curse on my show like that, but Clippers are that's a real nigga team. like that's a real nigga team right there. Like
Pat Bev. I love Pat Bev.
yeah,
dog.
they really gave LeBron and AD some problems. And I thought from the jump, like I know Montrezl Harrell is a little undersized, but he got some strength on him right there.
Oh,
So
no, he's a dog.
I saw a lot of times when LeBron James would just walk the ball up court, get the ball to AD in the post, and try to just force feed him to get him into the game. I don't think you're necessarily going to win like that. It also seemed that LeBron at certain times was a little passive and didn't want to be dominant. There were certain times where he'll show you flashes of his dominance, but I felt like he's kind of putting his foot on the gas a little bit. But then again, their defense was so good and so elite on the Lakers, it kind of looked like it wore him and AD down, so they were a little ineffective. And I think they ended up being shooting 38% from the field, which was crazy as well too. But the Clippers already look pretty damn good. And what I'm most shocked about is how well they've, had Kawhi mesh, into their system as well too. Especially when they play like 1 or 2 preseason games as well too. Still looks very efficient.
Yeah.
Looks very, very good out there. You got Beverly, who's a hound up there. Shamit, who I'm impressed by. I don't know why Philly let him go. Very, very good. It's going to be a solid role player for years to come. No one can really stop Lou Williams at all.
No.
No one can stop Lou Williams, and it's crazy. Zubac's only getting better. Montrezl Harrell's a dog off the
the
bench.
Lakers gave away last year. Like,
I don't understand. But what were your thoughts on, Clippers Lakers and LeBron tried to downplay and say, "Oh, this isn't a rivalry." Like, yes, it is, bro.
Yeah.
They're essentially in your home.
Yeah.
Lakers, you are historically known for winning. The fan base wants you guys to win. You have, in some people's eyes, the best player. I don't think he's the best player no more. Number 2, and number 2 is actually in your town, in your city. He even had his own New Balance commercial where he's driving. I don't know where in LA or in San Diego he's driving at, but he got a little keychain and it's a little king keychain, basically saying, "Yo, he's the new king of LA right now."
Wow.
He just came over Finals MVP. He's saying, "Yo, I'm coming to your crib."
What a marketing
First of
ploy.
all, he's like, "Yo, I'm a free agent. I'm gonna leave the impression that I'm gonna get you guys. I'm gonna assign to you guys, and then the last day, psych, I got PG. I'm going to Clippers." And then you had to just mess around and just build your roster, get Danny Green, get Avery Bradley, and so on and so on. Resign KCP, who's been playing terrible. But now he's in your town, so it's gonna be a rivalry because to get to where you want to be, which is the NBA Finals, you're gonna have to go through the Clippers. Like, you know that. But what are your thoughts on that game?
I'm gonna say this a lot today, but Kawhi Leonard is who we thought he was. Like, dude's ridiculous, man.
And my next question is gonna be: you can just go ahead, just tell me about it. Just tell me how you feel, man.
I think the Lakers, for as much as we've seen this, and we talk about it every year, this is everybody in basketball. But I think LeBron James is a seasoned manager in a way. And what I mean by that is that he really just, like, he picks and chooses his spots.
Yeah.
And there's some spot, and he knows that, like, all right, I'm not gonna burn myself out with this, because he knew the effort that he came into the league giving effort to a team that wasn't really gonna make the playoffs.
Yeah.
And he came in, he gave effort, 1,000%, and they made the playoffs, might have exited like first round or something like that. His like second year, but he's been doing this for 17 years, okay? So I'm not going to push the panic button at all for these 2 games. I'm not going to sit here and say, "Oh, he has taken a step back, he's taken a step forward." I'll give you my opinion on what I think it is in a second. But I think he's very smart in how he approaches the game early on, or how he approaches the season early on with his new teammates, with this new team, what he shows, what he gives. He's still a consistent player. Is it going to equate to wins sometimes? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. But he is trying to get people involved from all right, we have to be really good, hitting our strides at certain points of the year. Let me not take over, because I can teach a man to fish and he'll eat forever, or I could give him a fish, eat for a day. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I feel like he has that kind of philosophy with his teammates all the time. It's like, let's get these guys involved. Let me let AD eat. You know what I'm saying? Let me give him the tools, because if, granted, LeBron takes a few weeks off or something like that for whatever reason, these guys have to be able to function without him. But he's damn near planning to be there when it comes to coming down the stretch for the playoffs and stuff like that. And again, he's 17 years into the league. I'm not gonna say my expertise is better than his from a managerial standpoint when it comes to playing in the league for 17 years. I think him and AD are still trying to figure themselves out. They're lacking maybe a little bit of outside shooting. Danny Green looks very good, but you still have to find spots. You come, pick and roll, find your people to swing to. The Clippers defense is damn near probably top in the league. So
it was expected.
Yeah, yes. We're going to see them run through a lot of teams. Clippers is not going to be one team that they run through. They're going to get some games on the Clippers. They're going to not get some games on the Clippers. But Clippers are not going to be a pushover team. And every time they play them, the Clippers are probably going to give the LA Lakers their best effort.
Yeah,
For sure.
Definitely. It was crazy because a lot of people were saying after that game, like, yo, LeBron James shouldn't be point guard. They definitely need to go out and find another playmaker and whatnot. And then people like Jamal Crawford went and tweeted the Lakers look good, but they need like another scorer who can get his own bucket and any time. ... So based on what you've seen, should the Lakers be panicked in any form or shape to get another playmaker? Because Rondo's out right now. I think if Rondo comes back, you just take out Avery Bradley and make him the starting point guard with Danny Green, LeBron James, JaVale McGee, and Anthony Davis. Do you think they need another playmaker? And then Kuzma's coming back, too.
Yeah.
Like, people forget.
Yeah, Kuzma's coming back. Damn good player. Can stretch the floor. Gets in pockets that maybe the Lakers are missing a little bit from the mid-range to, like, the outside shooting to, again, some more length on defense. No, you don't push the panic button. Only thing I would change about the Lakers is right now the guy that's stealing $16 million from him. KCP, 48 minutes, one bucket, dog. I don't hoop in the league, you know what I'm saying? It's tough, I'm sure, but it's like you looking around like your mom's in the crib, whatever like that. Like something went wrong while she was away, and you just hoping that she doesn't find that out. KCP is just like, all right, let's score 1 point. I'm just gonna. He like just slides off the screen. You know what I'm saying? But and I think he'll come alive hopefully next few games because the kind of heat that's on that, and you can't be out there for 48 minutes and only have 1 point. Nothing else, no other stat line. But no panic button on the Lakers right now. Clippers look damn good. Lakers are gonna be top 4 in the West, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And it's crazy because a lot of people are kind of slamming LeBron. Like, let's not forget LeBron. Like, obviously he's played preseason, but he hasn't played a real game in such a long time because of the injury, and then because of once they figured out his team wasn't going to playoffs, he literally didn't care anymore.
Yeah, facts.
So had to get back into game shape. Like I said, this was a game where he got tested. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, historically speaking, LeBron James always, like you said, paces himself, kind of sees what he has to work with, seeing who has that dog in him, sees who he has to potentially get rid of, yada, yada, yada. There's always that drama that goes on. But he redeemed himself second game. They played Utah. Defensively, they were great. Only held Utah to 86 points. And LeBron James was LeBron James. 32 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds. They started utilizing that pick and roll with him and AD, which they didn't really use that much against the Clippers, which was shocking. Maybe the Clippers just were so good defensively. I have to look back into those highlights. But they started utilize that a little bit more, and everything seemed to work well. Like you said, though, when LeBron imposes his will like that, that would definitely guarantee a W or at least damn near close to it. But it's like you said, if he keeps doing that, when he does leave, the team's going to look lost without him.
Yeah.
And that's going to be wear and tear to his body. He is in year 17, about to be 35 years old in December. Sheesh. So you got to kind of find that balance. You got to definitely find that balance as well, too. Next thing I want to talk about, trouble in Golden State. So, I mean, it's trouble, but yet not trouble because they having to go up against the Clippers too, and they got waxed by the Clippers 141-122 in the new arena at the Chase Center in San Francisco. Moved from Oakland all the way to San Francisco just to get your ass kicked. And it's kind of funny because the last L they took in Oracle was to Kawhi, and the first L they took in their new arena was to Kawhi as well too. But yeah, man, they got murdered. Like the Clippers really suffocated D'Angelo Russell and Steph Curry. Steph Curry was only like 18% from three that whole night. He just looked uncomfortable the whole time.
That's scary.
D'Angelo Russell had a little. I think he scored like their first like 8 to 10 points, but
10
after
points.
that, he was damn near invisible out there. So my thing is like, now it's like obviously it's early. Obviously the Warriors are going to have that chance to beat up on the East and those lower level teams who are not expected to make the playoffs. But my thing is now it's like you lost Andre Iguodala, you lost Sean Livingston due to retirement,
Clay's hurt.
you lost Klay Thompson, you lost DeMarcus Cousins, you lost one of the best players, Kevin Durant. Klay Thompson's out, and Steve Kerr saying that he may not come back. I don't know if it's actually true or he just wants to quiet everyone down or just have his team think that you can't rely on someone coming back. You only can work with what you have right now.
Right.
So my thing is like, besides Steph Curry and D'Angelo Russell,
Who you gonna get it from?
who are you gonna get that scoring from? Draymond Green is a perennial all-star, but he's not known for scoring. He's known as being an all-around player. He'll give you 10 to 13 points. He'll facilitate for you, get the rebounds. He'll guard your best bigs, and he'll switch he can make that switch if necessary or if need be. So it's like without those two, and with Klay not coming back, they're gonna struggle this year, and they don't have size like they used to. Like you're at a disadvantage. Steph Curry has always been a defensive liability. Now you add D'Angelo Russell to that mix. Teams are going to exploit that. So it's like, what do you do? And then they're so heavily reliant on Steph Curry, who's had past injuries dealing with his ankle. He even sprained his MCL before on their playoff runs. D'Angelo Russell, who's kind of had his injury woes, at least when he first got traded to Brooklyn. And then Draymond Green, obviously, wear and tear always happens. I think he even hurt like his elbow against the Clippers. Yeah. But my thing is like, if one of those dudes go out, like, what are you gonna do? So, what are your expectations for the Warriors? What were your thoughts on that game? Obviously, it's gonna be a long season. Obviously, it's so early, but we are prisoners of the moments. And do you see Steph Curry being that unanimous Steph Curry? And I thought I would never say this, and we're gonna talk about this probably a little bit later. I think he's just gonna have to A, be Steph Curry of Young, or B, be what Trae Young is to the Hawks right now and just go stupid. But what are your thoughts?
I think Steph Curry is going to be more liable to put up 30 to 40 points on a nightly. How consistently will he do it? I feel like we'll see him here and there. But at the same time, when we saw Steph Curry going crazy, being the unanimous, that was in the prime. That's when we really fell in love with shooting the three, like from deep, all that stuff like that.
Teams have caught on.
Teams have caught on. Like, so there wasn't a defense for Steph Curry back then. But now there's, all right, we're going to get up, we're going to press, don't give him any daylight, anything like that. So it's been scouted, it's been seen, and there's somebody on each team that if you're going to play the Warriors, they're just scout. All right, you have to run around with him. You have to be prepared for him. Him and zero. After that, we'll let everybody else beat us. Because who's gonna beat us on that team? Yeah, not so many people. Like, it's just not gonna happen. And it's funny because we're comparing these first few games, and for some reason, the big names that we talked about. I mean, not for some reason. The NBA schedules it for a reason, but the big names we've talked about. The Clippers are a common denominator, and it might be a telltale sign to what we see coming down the stretch in the Western Conference. Yeah. But we're comparing a lot of the teams to the Clippers, who are the best team in the conference right now.
Yeah,
simple as that. They're the best team in the conference, and it's hard to compare somebody to trying to get their stuff together to a team that looks like they have their shit very much together. So, Steph Curry, not unanimous MVP season, but he's going to put up a lot of numbers because he has to. If not, I don't know what else you do from an organizational standpoint, Who are you going to go out and get? I don't know. I think they'll figure it out. It's not going to be turmoil. I don't think they're going to miss the playoffs, but they're definitely not going to be up there. And like, they're not going to be – I think they 5 and below for them.
I think they 6 through 8, maybe 7, 8.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna see. Like I said, it's a small sample size because they played who we think are at least gonna make it to the conference finals in the Los Angeles Clippers. But it's going to be a very rough year, man. I can already see it, bro. It's going to be very tough, and teams are getting better in the West and in the East too.
Yeah.
And in the East too. So we're going to see. I want to, steer this to you. What are your thoughts on Russ and Harden, the duo? They're 1-1 right now. First game they blew like a 16-plus point lead against the Bucks. Giannis just went stupid. Shout out to Giannis, man. I've been catching some slack. I ranked them a little low on my top 50 list. I kind of wish I could go back in time. The only reason why I put Steph Curry ahead of him was because I'm assuming. So it was based off of obviously his credentials. And then I said, well, Steph Curry's going to have to go unanimous Steph Curry this year, so he's going to be more vital to his team because he lost all those role players. So that's why I ranked him higher. Looking back at it now, I would probably flip that and put Giannis right there. But yeah, what are your thoughts on Russ and Harden right now? Obviously we only saw 2 games, but they look pretty damn good together. Give me a spill, man.
Russ and Harden, I think. And this team, we talked about it last time. I was like, they're not really going to impress me unless they take the next step in the playoffs. But Russ and Harden look very good. James Harden's not even shooting that well, and the team still finding a way to get it done because you have that extra push in Russ. Like, you can play him with James Harden on the floor. You can play with him off the floor. And from the highlights that we've been watching, I really like him when James Harden's not on the floor with him, just because the spacing, how it goes. Russ is somebody that's going to penetrate to the rim every single time and with ease, and you can just put the shooters around him. You got Capella that's down there you can dish it off to. Yeah. Kind of a speed switch up that you're not going to get with James Harden on the floor. Kind of running the show in a way. You can put Russ and Harden on the floor together. It gives you another lethal shooter. But as far as rhythm and flow goes, James Harden is your utility, like your all around kind of thing. And I feel like Russ would be just the specialty. All right, we need this. We need it done right now. So it's a 2-way go with it. Like from Mike D'Antoni coaching the team really well. The spacing's crazy. I don't have any more to say about it other than I think this is going to be a really good team. It's going to be hard to beat them with all their players, and they still hit shots really well. So you got Russ, you got James Harden, you got Eric Gordon, PJ Tucker down there. That it's going to be a damn good team. I say top 3 in the West.
Yeah, definitely top 3. I really like them playing together. I wish I could see James Harden play a little bit more off ball. It seems like whenever him and Russ are on the floor together, if Russ has the ball in his hand, he just stands at one spot instead of making unnecessary adjustments. But I kind of like them. They seem like, obviously we know who's the better player, who would be the better decision maker down the stretch. But honestly, they seem like they are a bit more fluid when Russ has the ball in his hands as well too. But they're still basically the same team from last year. Honestly, only added Tyson Chandler from what I see in Russell Westbrook. They're going to go far. They could honestly get the number 1 seed in the West. I wouldn't be shocked at all, too, just, from being in that system alone as well, too. And like I said, Russ adds a whole new dynamic that we haven't seen when Chris Paul was there. His ability to rebound, his ability to get up and down the floor and even provide even more open shots for his teammates. So it's going to be an interesting year. Obviously, like you said, it's a small sample size, but yeah, you're right. I see a top 3 seed in the West for them. So, we're gonna see what happens with that.
Easy money.
Which rookie were you surprised by the most and why so far? If you had to just pick one rookie, I said I was going between Kobe White and I was going between RJ Barrett, but I'm kind of going with RJ Barrett just because New York's been a shitty ass franchise for years. And with New York, whenever you get drafted, there's a lot of pressure that comes with it. But RJ Barrett's been looking very, very good in his first 3 games. He's been averaging, 21 points, 5 rebounds, almost 3 assists, been shooting 53% from 3, which is shocking. 51% overall from the field. Could use a little bit of help on his free throws, but overall, I've always said this too, he's been the most NBA ready to me. Aside from Zion, he's been the most NBA ready. He's pretty big for his size, you know what I'm saying?
He's 6'6".
He's moving great without the ball, which I've seen him getting a lot of points off of that. It seems like he's taking advantage of his size. He's posting up smaller players. It's pretty good at the spot up shot for the three. Great finishing at the rim as well too. And the sky's the limit for him too. Obviously Zion's out right now. So if I had an early pick, I know it was super early. I'm going with RJ Barrett for rookie of the year right now. But who is your rookie that you are surprised by the most?
My rookie that I'm surprised about the most. I'm probably gonna go with Kobe White right now. He's he's a dog, dude. We talked to Manny, and I think between me, you and Manny, we've been calling him kind of like a Gilbert Arenas like player.
Yeah.
And then too, like sneaky athleticism. He's not gonna dunk on you, but at the same time, he's gonna finish around you. Not sauce like Kyrie, but again, he's gonna get the job done. Plays really well. I'm not even sure what the Bulls' record is right now, but I feel like he's just gonna be a piece of that team that they really need. Playing across from Zach LaVine, who's gonna run the floor really well. A big guard that can kind of pretty much produce and do whatever you need him to do. If anything, from a guard like that, maybe get him in like the point guard role, just keep him with the assist and everything like that. But for the most part, I think Kobe White's just been impressing me. He hits knockdown shots. Again, a good finisher, good size to defend. Him and I'm slowly waiting to just see how the next few games go for Ja Morant, because he's probably the player I've been most excited to watch in the draft class. But just the guy I'm impressed with right now is probably in Kobe White. So
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Which young team are you most surprised by? I said for me, I was going back and forth between some teams as well too. It was really hard to decide, but I said, you know what? I'm just gonna go with this team. The Suns. Right now they're 2-1.
Okay.
You know they blew out the Kings. They beat the Clippers last night with Kawhi Leonard, and obviously the Clippers beat the Lakers and beat the Warriors as well too. And they lost in overtime to Denver just by 1 point as well too.
Yeah. For the block.
So it seems like, although they don't have the veterans that you'd want them to have, it seems like they've all made a commitment to get better this offseason and they're actually playing as a team. Like no one man's doing it on his own. I thought, Devin Booker was still going to be in that high volume category as well too, but you're getting contributions from a lot of people. Kelly Oubre, Dario Saric, Aaron Baines, Kaminsky, Tyler Johnson, they're all playing very well. And it's going to be kind of scary when Ricky Rubio comes back from his little minor injury and DeAndre Ayton comes back from his suspension that we're going to talk about a little bit later. But they can potentially make a playoff push or at least be in 10th through 8th seed.
That's scary.
Knowing that Zion Williamson is out and whatnot. But what team are you looking? What young team are you most surprised by?
Young team. Do the Hawks count as a young team?
Yeah. Why
Okay.
not?
So I'll take them.
They are undefeated right now. They're the best in the East
They're
right
the
now.
best in the East. Sheesh. Let's not even say that too loud. But I think the Hawks have impressed me solely because of one person, Trey Ball Young, and he's killing it. Looks like Steph Curry, crazy. Or maybe this is just changing the whole subject. Looks like Trey Young crazy. Size is not super great, but dude launches the ball from anywhere. Savvy handle. I still can't get over when he nutmegged JJ Redick in the preseason.
Yeah.
So dude's a walking cannon,
Yeah.
Plays very, very good with his size. Ridiculous, dude. Like, you can't leave the kid open for anything. And then you can't really get in front of him because he's too fast, too savvy with the ball. The Hawks look pretty good right now. I know it is, again, being a prisoner of the moment, but let's see how long Trae Young can keep this up.
Yeah, if Trae Young keeps this motor running, man, he could be an MVP consideration this year. I think he's averaging 39 points if you're rounded. 39 points, 9 assists, 7 rebounds, and the Hawks are 2-0, beat the Pistons, and then they also beat the Magic, who had the best record post All-Star break. So major props to Trae Young right now. He's really doing his thing. That team is playing well, but we'll see how things unfold as the season unfolds a little bit more.
Big facts.
Overall, what team are you most impressed by in general? I'm going with the Clippers. They're missing Paul George. They added Kawhi Leonard, and obviously they lost last night to a new and improved, and which we think is a new and improved Phoenix Suns. But they've been the most impressive to me off the simple fact that they're really wearing down these teams early on, and just second half going off with it. Who are you most impressed by? What team?
Clips, can't argue with that.
Clips.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Now this is it. This isn't a rookie thing, but which young player are you most impressed by? I was going between Trae Young and Brandon Ingram too, but considering Brandon Ingram came off of his blood clot and the fact that Zion's gone, I think Drew Holiday just sprained his knee. I'll just have to double check on that. I'm going with Brandon Ingram. Been averaging 27 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds. He's everything that we hoped he'd pan out to be from Duke in a new atmosphere. And obviously the Pelicans are still haven't seen their first W yet, but the fact that they've been competitive against the Rockets and then also against the reigning champions and the Raptors, future's looking bright for them. So if they can get everything going, Drew Holiday comes back, maybe they can make the playoffs. But what young player, if any, are you most surprised by so far?
I think
not a rookie, obviously.
Yeah, I think Brandon Ingram's a great pick for that. I'm gonna still go double back down on Trae Young. 77 points in the last. In the 2 games, I think in the first 2 games he had like 77 points. It might be 3, but rounding that out, helping his team, really playing a point guard role, but still being able to score at an elite level. So that's my guy, Brandon Ingram, right up there with him because the sky's the limit for that dude. So
yeah. So apparently Joel Embiid suffered an ankle injury, sprained his ankle. He said he had discomfort in his ankle, so they diagnosed it with a sprained ankle. I guess it's a good thing that they got Al Horford now, so he can legit be that center when he is out. So it definitely makes sense. I'm just a little disappointed in Ben Simmons. Obviously, the Philadelphia 76ers are undefeated. He's imposing as well. I think yesterday he kind of had a pretty tough game. I think he only finished with like 13, 7, and 5 or whatnot.
Yeah.
But I still haven't seen him attempt a jump shot. I don't even care if it's a 3-pointer at this point. Even the mid-range, like what's up? Like
he catfished us in the preseason.
He catfished us in the preseason. Like, what are your thoughts about that? Do you even have anything to say about that?
Dude, they're winning. When it becomes a problem when they're losing, we'll talk about it, but they're winning. I don't really have a problem with it, but he catfished us. It's like you still look good, but you're not your profile picture.
Yeah, definitely not the profile picture. Confusing me on Tinder and all these other apps as well.
He used the filter. He used the filter on us. That's what happened.
Filter on us, man.
3-point shot filter.
Another props I want to give to who you could also argue who you're most impressed by overall as far as players is probably Derrick Rose. He should be a starter at this point now. Like we all know, Reggie Jackson is not better than him right now. But he's been averaging 25, 5, and 2.
That's tough.
Low-key kind of like his MVP numbers in a way. Obviously, the rebounds could increase a little bit, but he's been doing everything since Blake Griffin's been out with like I think hamstring issue and also knee issue. So when Blake Griffin comes back and Derrick Rose can stay healthy and be that other guy you can rely on, they should definitely make a push to get back in the playoffs and be an even higher seed than they were last year in the number 8 seed.
Well, Coach Casey over there, I think he's a damn good coach. Best coach in the league.
Yeah.
Probably 2 years ago. But player I'm most impressed with overall, you got to keep going with the home team. It's not the home team because I'm not like a Clippers fan, but dude, Kawhi Leonard's playing like
Kyrie's been OD too.
Kyrie. You want to be the what? The star player.
Yeah. Shout out to his 50-point performance as well. And then he also hit a dagger at the corner 3. In the elbow at the 3-point line the other night against the Knicks. So that was pretty dope to watch. It's going to be a fun year for them. So when KD comes back, they're definitely going to be a finals favorite, at least coming out of the East as well, too.
Top 3 possible MVPs this year you got?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you asked me a question.
Yeah.
So early, man. Cardi. Right now, just from this small sample size.
Just from
Okay.
Use the sample size and just project it. This is not gonna be maybe what happens. Please don't come back and kill us for these predictions. Because we don't have a small sample size. But that could top 3 MVP.
That's so tough. There's so much talent around the league. All right. Everyone's been saying load management with the Clippers, with Kawhi Leonard and whatnot. I think he can be one. because now he's added. Everyone always bashes him every single year. He always adds to his game, and what he's adding to his game now is the ability to play make. He had 10 assists the other night, 27, 10, and like 7. I was like, damn, you looking like LeBron out there now. When PG come back, wow, my God. So I don't think he's necessarily. He may sit out back-to-back games, but if they're blowing teams out like that, that's his load management right there when you don't have to play in the fourth quarter. So I'll go with Kawhi for one. Another favorite, probably Nikola Jokic. He's been playing pretty well. I mean, there's been so many good people. All right, so if a gun pointed in my head, Kawhi Leonard, Kyrie Irving, depending on how high of a seed they can be, and probably Giannis right now. I don't know. It's too early to tell. What about you? I got to get at least like 20 games into the season.
Kawhi, Giannis, and
it's too early, bro.
Kawhi, Giannis, and I'll go. And this is gonna be a tough one, and it's gonna probably hurt him because he is playing alongside James Harden because they're gonna split their numbers. But I'll go Kawhi, Giannis, and Russ.
Ooh, Russ, that's interesting. Yeah. Keep that same energy 10, 15
games from now. 15 games from now. Don't shoot us. This is for kicks and giggles. But
the last thing I want to talk about is DeAndre Ayton. So, DeAndre Ayton tested positive for a diuretic. So he's going to have a 25-game ban as of right now, and he's working with the NBPA and the NBA to, appeal the suspension. So basically, it violates the NBA and NBA Players Association anti-drug policy. So for those of you guys who don't know about diuretics, it increases the rate of urine flow to adjust the volume and composition of bodily fluids. So the main reason why people take it is to lose weight and then also to mask something that they're trying to hide. So in honor of Stephen A. Smith, stay off the goddamn weed. Now, honestly, that's what I think it is. I think he was smoking that ganja. And they probably got a little note saying, yo, like, you about to get drug tested, bruh. So he went out and got the diuretic, and he got caught. That's what it was. That's what it is, because he looks like he didn't add or lose weight. He kind of looks the same. He didn't lose weight. He looks about the same or a little bit bigger as well, too.
Yeah.
So I think that's what it is. Notable people who got suspended from just using performance enhancement drugs or whatever. Where Wilson Chandler, Jody Meeks, Joakim Noah, Hedo Turkoglu, Rashard Lewis, all of them averaged about like 25-game suspension as well too. And if he does miss these 25 games, he's going to be essentially losing $2 million.
$2 million.
And that's going to be an average of $116,620 per game. What were your thoughts on finding out about his suspension? And then, I mean, the biggest thing is obviously you losing your money and you being a liability to your team, because like I said, the Phoenix Suns do look good, and with him not there, that could make or break their season as far as getting to the playoffs as well too.
Yeah. He's the top pick, so the Phoenix Suns are relying on him. But when I first saw that, I was just like, it's probably a mistake. I don't think anybody's out just doing like drugs,
ganja,
like performance enhancing drugs type joint. But if it's on the banned substance list, you would have to think they've been doing this for years and years. The NBA probably tests pretty well on that stuff. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Hopefully he gets it appealed to only, say 10 games, if not a little bit less, a little bit more. But I'm hoping he gets back on the floor because, you want the basketball players playing. It's not a drug that's going to make him LeBron James or Kawhi Leonard. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to do that. But at the same time, hopefully it was just an error and not even judgment, but just a process and nutrition. And he can get back on the floor as soon as possible because we want to see the Suns play well. We don't want a black man to lose his money. So
yeah. And it's never a fun thing when black men use money, but it's just young. You learn from your mistakes.
Facts.
A little slap on the wrist. You're going to be fine.
Weed, lay off the weed.
Yeah, lay off the weed, man. Smoking it off season. But, you have players like Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes who smoke before every game and still find a way to beat the system. So
and Steve Kerr.
If you're going to do it, be smart about it. But more story is stay off the weed. But that was episode 63 of the Seezus Show. Any last comments you want to say or anything like that?
Everybody keep fighting out there. Shout out to Chosen One Generation.
Yeah, I was about to ask you about that. It's a pretty dope logo.
No, it's really cool. Boss lady out there, Coach A. She puts it all together. But just middle school, high school boys, AAU skills workout. If you're down in the Petersburg area or just like the Greater Richmond area in general, want to get a workout in, let your boy know. Let Chosen One Generation know. Really good program out there. Faith-based people to take care of you, or if you just want to get be around a program that's looking to do big things, Chosen One Generation. Hey, that's my time. Appreciate you having me, man. It was a great show.
Always love, man. That was episode 63 of the Seezus Show, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to subscribe to the Seezus Show on all forms of social media, and then spread the love. And that's about it. NBA season's underway. Stay tuned for another episode. We out.
Peace.